Hi, welcome or welcome back to the Film and TV channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. And we've got a big film. This is one of the biggest budget films I've seen quite recently in these COVID times. Yeah, $200 million budget for this one. So, yes, I'm recording this on the 11th of May 2022. So, all the scores and comments are as at this day. And we're going to talk about Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It certainly is a multiverse of madness. 12 days to forget, 126 minutes. Of course, a superhero film based on Marvel Comics featuring the character Doctor Strange, produced by Marvel Studios, and old Walt Disney have distributed this, and the sequel, of course, to Doctor Strange 2016. And this is the 28th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's the public thinking? Let's have a look at the public first before we start talking about the critics. Rotten Tomatoes audience, 4.3 out of 5. That's not bad, is it? That's 8.6 out of 10. That's not too shabby. Not as much, though, for the Metacritic users, the other critic site we look at. Their users, only 6.3 out of 10. Well, I'll say only 6.3 out of 10. It's not bad, is it? That's 220 positive, 77 mixed, but 91 negative reviews of this film. Internet Movie Database, that's Joe Public, isn't it? A lot. 113,000 scores plus have been left on Internet Movie Database. A few reviews as well. 7.5 out of 10. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad on that sort of quantity, so I don't see that changing too much over the coming months and years. And of that 113,000, I've ignored the 10 out of 10s, I've ignored the 1 out of 10s, and we're left with 79,000, just over 79,186 who scored it between 6 and 9, and 9,355 who scored it just between 2 and 5. So we're quite positive on that Internet Movie Database. So let's talk a little bit more about the film. It's directed by Sam Raimi, of course, written by Michael Waldron. Stars Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange alongside Elizabeth Olsen, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Benedict Wong, Xochitl Gomez, Michael Stuhlbarg and Rachel McAdams, plus a few others as well. It was released in the United States and here in the UK on or around May the 6th. There might be some preview show stuff like that. Now, what about the critics? Well, obviously, the public generally pretty positive on this one. What about the critics? Well, Rotten Tomatoes critics, yeah, they're not too bad either. 6.5 out of 10, 75% positivity. That's 343 critics. So you get into the maximum number of critics there for this one. And of that, 256 gave it a fresh rating, but a fair chunk, 87, classed it as rotten. So, say, fair sprinkling of rotten there. The consensus, though, of the website, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness labours under the weight of the sprawling MCU, but Sam Raimi's distinctive direction casts an entertaining spell. Metacritic, the other site we look at, the critics, a weighted average 61 out of 100. So again, not a total disaster, 61, based on 63 critics. 39 were positive, 21 were mixed, and 3 were negative. And it scored anywhere between 42 out of 100 and 91 out of 100. The Guardian's Peter Bradshaw, he quite liked it. He gave it 60. He said, the Multiverse Madness is treated with genial high-energy panache. Though I have to say that this infinite profusion of realities does not actually feel all that different in practice from the shape-shifting, retconning world of all other Avengers films. And infinite realities tend to reduce the dramatic impacts of any one single reality. Yeah, I'll mention that myself in a bit. And reduces what there is at stake in a given situation. Nonetheless, it's handled with lightness and fun. Yeah, I will use the word fun in my little summing up as well. CNN Brian Lowry, he scored it 70 out of 100. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness might be the most insanely Marvel movie ever, for good and ill. Unleashing the infinite possibilities of the multiverse throws open the studio's toy box, but the anything goes aspects of that can be alternately thrilling, disorientating, and occasionally a little silly. All told, this sequel proves highly entertaining and not quite worthy of the pent-up demand for it. My thoughts. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the multiverse. In a way, it's being flogged by both Marvel and DC now in every single film they're putting out there. It's lovely to pay homage and have all these characters dropping in from various places that you didn't expect to see. But it does take all, for me, it does ruin and take all the jeopardy out. I like to invest in characters. I like to be sad if a character dies. I like to be happy if something happens. But I mean, it just takes out all the jeopardy out of the storytelling. So because if one character dies, I mean, there's a multitude, there's billions probably of others to pick up from and come and replace them. So for me, it just sort of ruins the whole idea of the plot story. I mean, done in small doses, it's fine. Parallel universes where there might be one, one or two parallel, but not multi. Well, there's just multiple. That's the whole idea of a multiverse, and I've not liked it since he started doing these things with Marvel and even DC as well, and the TV series and the various types. So it just ruins it a bit for me. So that is. I'm going to set my case there, but there's always a big but. But this was good fun, allowing for that. One of the better Marvel efforts for me for a while. I've always been slightly underwhelmed by Marvel. I will absolutely be honest with you. Certainly over the last possibly 3, 4, 5 years, I've always been underwhelmed by what they put out and not really enjoyed them. Now, they've been okay, don't get me wrong, they're fine, they're all right, but I've just never been blown away. I won't say this blew me away, but it certainly entertained me. I mean, the action, I say I'm not a big action fan, but the action in this was just good fun. And I think I said I would use the word fun again, and it certainly is. I mean, the humour was okay, it worked occasionally, didn't work all the time. Let's face it, I like Benedict Cumberbatch, so he's worth a watch. And for me, yes, I spent 2 hours in the company of Elizabeth Olsen, so we can't go far wrong with Elizabeth Olsen. So it's just how it is. It's certainly worth the effort of the watch just for Miss Olsen. In all fairness, for me anyway. Obviously, you may have your favourites. The CGI was okay, which this obviously there's a lot of CGI in this, a lot of battles, a lot of fights, a lot of effects. And it's good. And perhaps where it's not so good, in the context of a comic book film, it's fine. It sort of works where it wouldn't work in other types of films, I don't think. And it's great to see, my personal favourite as well as Elizabeth Olsen. I'm sorry, I keep going back to Elizabeth Olsen, but as well as Elizabeth Olsen, it was great to see Hayley Atwell as Peggy Carter or Captain Carter, of course, with the Union flag uniform and shield, a la Captain America. So as a patriotic Brit myself, that was nice to see. Although she did, I won't say too much. No spoiler alerts, but there's plenty of him knocking around in the multiverses anyway. So whatever happens, there's always another one to pop up, isn't there? So for me, guys, let me know what you think. I thought it was the best Marvel for a while. It's 7 out of 10 for me, which is not a bad score at all. I can't remember the last time I give an MCU film as much as 7, usually probably around about the 6 mark. But I'm going to give it 7 out of 10 because I was thoroughly entertained. The 2 hours passed by very quickly. As I said, it was not the greatest plot, as I said, the multiverse doesn't appeal to me, but overall, having said that, I just enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought it was total, all I want to be is entertained, and I can honestly say this film entertained me. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, till we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.